never as it seems. 'Cause I get 1,000
Opinion on Bernie Sanders. Yes, he really does seem like the best candidate, doesn't he, at the moment? From what I can say as an incredibly uneducated British young person when it comes to American politics. Do you support Bernie Sanders? What's with all the questions about Bernie Sanders? Hey, Americans in the chat, what presidential candidate do you have the most belief in personally? Let's get a little field sample in before Donald Trump. Let's see. Bernie, Ben Carson. I don't even know who Ben Carson is. I'm out of the loop. Bomb. That's just because Reddit and Tumblr are like literally everyone's obsessed with Bernie Sanders. From what I've seen, Bernie Sanders is the best. Hillary Clinton, I mean, like, oh my god, am I actually about to start talking about American politics? Hillary is a woman. That would be fantastic. But I'm not convinced for many things that I've seen that she'd be the best president. I think that even though Bernie Sanders is an old white guy, that he would actually be quite incredible. Let's see. But that's just from all the circle jerking that I've seen on Reddit and Tumblr. I mean, I haven't researched this myself, but everyone on Reddit and Tumblr is like, Bernie Sanders is the future. Well, like, why don't you talk about politics more on Twitter, Dan? Because I like your opinions. Thanks, that's a nice thing to say. Because, and now this is something that I really strongly believe in, that I feel like more people should, to be honest, which is that Twitter is a terrible place to have complicated conversations. So, like, people love to kind of just, like, talk shit on Twitter, but that's bad because you can't bring up something that's, like, 140 characters, because no one can ever, you know, really articulate an opinion on something, or just, like, discuss anything that isn't just, I had some toast today, here's a picture, in 140 characters. And it would just be terrible. And, like, it's oh my god, it would just be a terrible, like, seriously, like, Tumblr messages, Tumblr posts are okay, they're okay, but then there's not a good place for back and forth, because, like, the thing is about having conversations with people, not just letting your opinions across, but if you actually want to have conversations with people, as it needs to be a back and forth. So Tumblr's terrible for that, because in order to have a conversation with someone, you need to find their notes and reblog it, and that's just, like, complicated as heck. Facebook's pretty good, I guess, maybe, or something. Twitter's terrible. Even Question Time on TV, which is like a British debate show, is like, because there's like a show on British TV called Question Time, where, like, members of the public can talk about stuff that's happening in the UK, and it's always over too quickly. I'm like, man, you can't bring up these insane conversations and then change the topic, because, like, there's no good place to fucking discuss anything. Like, a 10.5-hour panel, that's the only, so, I don't know, it's weird. Never, this is the thing, never assume anything about someone's opinion based on them not saying something about it, because there could be a plethora of reasons why someone doesn't talk about politics or hasn't weighed in on some kind of dramatic thing that's happening or anything, because, you know, they could have broken their legs, their house could have exploded, and they could be, you know, with no internet, or they could just, you know, so, but, like, never assume anything based on someone hasn't said. So, like, me in politics, it was really, like, I got so engaged in politics in, like, the last month in the run up to the election, because, like, I was like, of all the things, because I'd hope that you guys would have the impression that, like, when I have an opinion on something, I want to be as informed as possible, and to think about it as much as possible, because I don't want to share my opinion on anything unless I think that it's informed and I've thought about it a lot. So, like, politics, like, literally how the world is controlled is like, yeah, I should probably, like, know some stuff. And I got really engaged with it, and then I was like, maybe is this something that I should be, you know? Not like in a boring, oh my god, Dan doesn't talk about relatable dumb crap he does all the time. He just talks about politics. But in a way, yeah. Thinking about it, in the next 5 years, I'm not going to tell you who I voted for here, because I would have to spend an hour telling you what I didn't vote Conservative. I'm going to say that. I'm going to put that out. That's one opinion. I'm not afraid of the negative any responses for that, because I don't think it's right for many reasons. This just, you know, wow. Who would you vote for? I'd vote for Hillary. I'd have preferred to vote for Bernie Sanders. I read a quote which I agree with. I mean, this is just, you know, opinions, here we go. Don't take this too seriously, it's a live show, I'm just talking off the top of my head, which is that Hillary represents everything that's wrong with the current government, but Trump represents everything that's wrong with the culture. And I think that's true, you know, Donald Trump represents kind of like the worst morality of humans, whereas Hillary, unfortunately, with the DNC, kind of represents corporate interests in politics, you know, rigging the Democratic primary against Bernie Sanders, all of this rubbish and whatever. And it's, you know, it's a shame. I've been watching a lot of things. I watched, this is kind of boring to most of you, Michael Moore, political guy, made like a little movie thing where he did like a comedy show talking about Hillary, about how when Hillary was younger, she was just like a really nice person that was a lawyer standing up for like disabled children, and it's only when she got thrown into the horrible world of politics that all of this shit cannon started getting fired at her. And I think anyone that's been in the public eye as long as her is bound to have been in so many controversies. I understand why a lot of people don't want to support Hillary and why, you know, whatever, but I think that, you know, Trump is worse in every single way that you can probably criticize Hillary for, and he's morally deplorable. And if you are a progressive person that would have wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders, then you need to vote for Hillary so that the Democratic Party can control Congress, because if the Senate is Republican, then no Green Party or Democratic policies will ever get pushed through. You know, if Obama spent the last 8 years being blocked by Congress because they're so full of Republicans, then any Americans that vote for Jill Stein or Trump because they don't want to vote for Hillary are just kind of making it so that their future is even less likely to succeed. So, you know, yeah, you know, I'd have personally preferred Hillary. I mean, Bernie. I understand why people want to vote for Jill. I think that, you know, Gary Johnson, I think libertarianism's a bit silly. If you look at the policies, which you should look at the policies, then yeah. And there we go. If someone said, I wish there was a revolution, though. Yeah, and if Trump wins, then it's just not going to happen. And again, I've probably said so many things that I've upset so many people in the last 5 minutes, but I'm just talking off the top of my head in a live show. Don't take anything too seriously. I'm not even American, I can't vote. But if you are American, you should have voted. Because vote. Did you watch the Women's March coverage, said Lene? Yeah, I mean, that was in a week, and you're sick. Okay, prayers and hugs and, you know, demon sacrifices for everybody whose birthday it is. Happy birthday, and is sick. Get well soon. Yes, I mean, it's been a challenging week for the world with the whole Trump thing. Yeah, but the Women's March was quite amazing. And obviously, you go on Facebook, you go on all these websites, you read some things, you're just like, oh my god, all these people disagreeing with it, how am I alive? There's lots of people that don't know anything, people with different opinions, ignorant people, and sometimes it's very dramatic and scary. But I think, you know, you can debate the politics all day. What the Women's March showed is that, you know, all these millions of people around the world can come together and just stand up for really good virtues. Because, you know, you can argue about the politics, but what it was basically saying was, we don't like the misogyny and the homophobia and the racial undertones and the this, that, and the other. And whether or not you know, like I said, you can argue about specific politics for ages, and what the march was about, who was at the march, why they were at the march, what they were on the sign. But at the end of the day, it was just a lot of people coming together to celebrate all of these really good wholesome values that are important for having a happy society. And a peaceful protest, you know, it's important to democracy. I think it's a very heartwarming thing. A good demonstration of solidarity said, oh my god, I need to read the names in the chat. Help said, oh my god, your actual dad. Yes, your actual dad. Trump's president help. Yeah. Eric. Hasn't been a great start, has it? I don't even know what's happening. Where is politics going? Well, where's the world going? The far right's rising again. The left is being unsuccessful. Technology, artificial intelligence. How are we going to survive the next 50 years? I mean, of course we are, because everything's good and wholesome, and we're all communicating, and we're a big global community of love, and everything's gonna be fine.
By the way, £1 million is basically like $1 million. It's not that much difference.
Hashtag Brexit.
Oh.
16 Oz writes in, hello Dan, I'm an Australian doing an assignment on Brexit and I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, that's perfect, because neither does the British government.
Bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side, a little bit of